Bitcoin holders, crypto holders, listen up. Now is not the time to be selling. That is according to Wall Street analysts. Anyway, we've got some very interesting things to be breaking down from what they are saying. Lots of big altcoin news today as well. What Trump has to say about crypto and much, much more. Very interesting stuff. So stick around for the good times. And of course, stick around till the second half of the stream where I'll be answering your questions. We'll be talking shop, hanging out, having a good time, drinking some water. It'll be a great time. Stick around. So let's get into it. We got to start off straight away with this. Phil Rosen sharing Wall Street analysts say it's not time to sell your stocks. Dating back to 1928, the S&P 500 tends to do well from June to August. Index is up 65% of the time, and during an election year, which it happens to be, it's up 75% of the time. Now, with that, was good for the goose is good for the gander, and Bitcoin is the gander in this situation. Let's have a look at why I say that. Here is two charts. Here are two charts. Take myself off the screen so you can see this better. Look at this. The bottom, you have Bitcoin. On the top, the S&P 500. Now, I am not a chart doctor here or anything, but my diagnosis for this would be high correlation. Look at this. This is crazy. Look at how closely these markets move together. And of course, the S&P 500 index fund of the top 500 companies in America versus Bitcoin, they move very close together. Not perfect, as you can see. For example, here in mid 2021, we had the whole China scare thing, whereas stocks just kept pumping. So there's that to think about. So it's not always perfect, but they definitely do rhyme quite a bit. You can see here, this is called the Pearson correlation. So this is how correlated Bitcoin is to the S&P 500, the NASDAQ composite, and gold. As you can see, gold can be a bit of an outlier sometimes. And the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ composite, they go so close most of the time with Bitcoin. Obviously, there are times lower correlation. Look here, for example, in October 2023, there was a much lower correlation, but you see more often than not, we are trending towards high correlation to the stock indexes. So we go back to this. 65% of the time, the index goes up between June and August. And when it's an election year, it's 75% of the time. So what does that mean? Crypto summer could be here, guys. Get ready. Get ready. It could be very exciting, of course, if that does play out as we hope it can play out, of course, but we shall see. Now, this is great to hear. That would essentially mean don't sell. Now is not the time to sell. We are just going through a consolidation period, and markets will recover and potentially a spectacular fashion. Now, I'm old enough to remember 2020. Such a long time ago. Feels like it, actually. The whole cycle ago. 2020 was also a Bitcoin halving year. Now, during the summer of 2020, we're talking about Northern Hemisphere summer, okay? For us in the Southern Hemisphere, it's winter. It's cold, right? It's cold today. We had hail this morning. I gotta get some sunshine up north one of these days soon. Anyway, besides the point. During 2020, we had a DeFi summer. Huge gains across the board for all kinds of generacy. All kinds of new DeFi protocols were launching with huge farming incentive programs. A lot of money is made in a very short amount of time. Fortunes lost and won overnight. Pretty wild time. Bitcoin didn't do a wild amount during that period, simply because we were in the post-halving regime. We had some nice movement, but it wasn't crazy. In fact, we had quite a bit of lack of volatility for Bitcoin specifically. Now, will that repeat this time? Hard to say. I think we're in a situation now where the Bitcoin ETFs really are a wild card in terms of liquidity pushes for Bitcoin specifically. And of course, that then rolls down to the whole cryptocurrency market. Okay. Let's take a look at the charts here. So far, not a lot happening. Not a lot happening on these charts. Let's take a look here. I'll take myself off the screen here so you can see a bit better. You can see we are still putting in those lower peaks. We got rejected pretty solidly the other day at the 50-day exponential moving average. Great. Great. Fantastic. All right, Bitcoin. Not a lot going on currently. Obviously, we want to see our price holding above the 100-day EMA pink line on the chart here. Currently, we are threatening, I'm going to put with a loss of that MACD bull cross that we had the other day. Market is continuing to show consolidation, continuing to show a bit of weakness. We haven't recovered yet from the sell-off. We're still in consolidation mode, essentially, for Bitcoin after the massive run-up. How long it takes to pump back up remains to be seen, but we will pump back up. It's only a question of when that happens. The cycle is, in my opinion, far, far from over at this stage, but that doesn't mean we can't have a lot more short-term volatility. Downside volatility, always on the cards. I know we want upside volatility, but sometimes that downside volatility can catch us a bit at unawares. But what we want to see now, we want to see a solid reclaim of the 50-day EMA. That is the yellow line on the chart here, currently trending slightly down. And we want to see one of these little peaks here go up a bit higher, right? We want to start putting in some higher highs. So that's what we're watching for right now in the market. Of course, reclaim the 50-day EMA with some solid volume, good daily candle close above it. Couple days of that could really start sending us in the right direction. But until then, this is what's happening. We're continuing that downward trend for the moment. So market's been having a hard time recovering through all the drama recently. I wanted to share this one with you as well. I like this chart from CryptoCon. Level 3 of the magic band still looms as the next Bitcoin target, now at $91,184. Now, this is super interesting because if you draw a nice, cute little line here, let's just put that on the chart here. If you draw a nice little line, throw the weekly on there just to make it a little bit simpler to see real quick, between the previous cycle and the peaks there, where do we end up at? We end up right around 90K. Now, that could come a bit later in the year, maybe mid-year, for example. That's sort of the next major target to the upside here. So that'd be something to be watching out for if we can get to that. Curious to see if we'll get there or not. But regardless, that's the next major target. As CryptoCom points out, it's normal for price to sometimes stop in between to consolidate before reaching the bigger goal, which is kind of where we are right now. If you see the middle of the picture here. Okay, so we're kind of stopping between, consolidating. The cycle top band is also now expanded to 122,884, which is interesting, which has been hit every single cycle. This band can keep increasing as the price rises. You can see how we get these exponential. We're basically flat right now for this. But you see, once the price starts moving, look back here in 2017, for example, that trends up real hard. Similar happened in 2020, early 2021, but it didn't trend up quite as hard as previously. But definitely something interesting, definitely something to be keeping an eye on. Now, real quick, we're going to do a shout out to today's sponsor, which is iTrust. Guys, we're looking for a tax efficient way to be trading your cryptocurrency coins. You may want to consider looking at iTrust Capital. They are a crypto IRA provider, so you can bring over your existing IRA or start a new 401k or whatever other three-number retirement program that you have. You can come over here and trade crypto as much as you want. You could literally do 1,000 trades from all the popular coins, Solana, Dogecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever, and not hit a taxable event once. Which, if you know how bad crypto trading tax can be, this is a very interesting idea. 365, 24/7 markets like crypto, unlike Bitcoin ETFs, might I add. You can also have physical gold and silver via the partnership with Kitco. Low cost, no monthly fee, biggest crypto IRA provider in the game with most assets under management, most users, most volume, all that kind of stuff. If you want to learn more and potentially claim a $100 funding bonus, you'll find a link down below in the description where you can check that out. Thanks again for sponsoring today's stream. So let's continue. Ted Talks Macro shared this interesting chart. He says, this sharing it from Cross Border Capital, 65-month liquidity cycles theory perfectly synchronized with crypto liquidity. The next cycle high is due in June 2026. Interesting. Based on this idea. Now, does that mean for certain that's when it's going to happen? No, no. I think, of course, the general expectation is going to be late 2025, 4-year cycle stuff. But anything outside of that, I think is going to catch a lot of people offside, a lot of people by surprise. Oh no, it came earlier. Oh no, it's coming later. But as we have discussed many, many times, you have to watch out for those signals. Okay. Jason, I sold all my Bitcoins. Bad idea. Oh boy. Oh boy, Jason. Oh boy, watch out, man. Thanks for the super chat. It'll be interesting to see how the market plays out, but you have to watch for the top signals, okay? You have to watch for the big top signals. We've did a whole video on that. I'm adding a few more signals even to that list, trying just to try to get as much confirmation as possible. We're seeing things really tick over in the market. And that's the pi cycle top indicator and a lot of the great indicators like the MRVRZ, ZRV, whatever, that one, the NUPL, stuff like this, long-term, short-term holder transfer rates, stuff like this. Again, a lot of very technical on-chain stuff we can be looking at. We can be looking at like loss of certain moving averages. We can be looking at daily MACD crossovers, stuff like this. Lots of pieces to come together here to try to say, okay, are we getting near the end of the cycle or not? But it's very, very fascinating to me how these liquidity cycles have been working in the market. I mean, Satoshi, man, literally launched Bitcoin within this 4-year liquidity cycle narrative where every time we are basically reaching tops in liquidity globally tends to come with that sort of 18 months post Bitcoin halving, approximately, give or take a few months on the other side. Very interesting. Anyway, just wanted to share that because the liquidity cycle is just starting to heat up. Think about that. Another one here from TED Talks Macro. The U.S. economy, saying the U.S. economy has bottomed or is bottoming right now. That's interesting. Not peaked, bottoming. That's according to this chart that he's showing right here. But that's a fascinating thing to think about, isn't it? That likely we're, in spite of the fact that the markets have gone up, this is the economy, right? That the economy is bottoming, not peaking. So if the economy is going to peak later, watch out. Watch out, man. Big things could be coming. Big exciting things could be coming. So that's an interesting chart I want to share with you as well. Now, this big news here coming in from Marty Party. We talked about this yesterday, and I want to share the update. He's been following the situation pretty closely. He says, verified, a reported on China's Aladdin called Stock Connect, which allows mainland Chinese traders to trade spot crypto ETFs from Hong Kong. Well, I've personally verified this, and it is true. Mainland China will have full access to Hong Kong traded spot Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs. Boom. There it is. There it is, guys. That's exciting. You know, that's so exciting. I need a drink. Get some of the hard stuff going here, guys. Oh, this is big. Do you understand what I just read? Mainland China money is going to get access to Hong Kong Ethereum and Bitcoin ETFs, spot ETFs, meaning real demand. Chinese property markets are in shambles. Gold has been flying off the shelves basically in China. China loves Bitcoin. They have for a long time, despite all the government crackdowns. These people and all their money are about to get a massive just floodgate opened so that they can flood all their money into Hong Kong and buy Ethereum and Bitcoin spot ETFs. This is big news. When you put all the pieces together, when you see the whole puzzle, it's pretty wild what's happening right now. The market's like, oh, I know, the price of Bitcoin today, it's not pumping. Just wait. Just wait till this new tsunami wave starts coming into the market. It'll be crazy. Okay, let's switch up. That's pretty big news. Space Vibe, Stock Connect. Yeah. It does remind a bit Connect back in the day, man. That 2017 Ponzi scheme. Those were good times. You know, people just aping into Ponzi schemes. I guess why not? Never was my cup of tea, the BitConnect Ponzi scheme, but Stock Connect. Let's go. Okay. Serious to talk politics now, guys. Serious, very serious stuff. Okay. My Sean Connery voice. We're talking politics. Okay. Anyway, Trump was somewhere. This is very recent, just hitting online right now. You can see here. He's talking about crypto, basically saying Biden doesn't even know what crypto is, and that he is not going to be against crypto, that he's going to be for crypto. And I think it's making it a very apparent situation that if you like crypto, Trump's the guy. If you hate crypto, Biden's the guy. Obviously, single issue voters paying attention, right? Don D says, Lark, you can't use tsunami and Asian country in the same sense. Hey, I'm in New Zealand. We have tsunamis too, okay? It's our word. It's our word too here, okay? jokes, guys. But it's very interesting, actually. It's very, very clear, especially when we look at, there was another story that came out today. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Oh, did I bring this one up or not? Oh, yeah, here we go. Look. U.S. House votes to overturn SEC rule preventing highly regulated financial firms from holding Bitcoin and crypto. Biden said he wanted to pass that bill. The House at least came out and overturned it, so it won't even get to Biden's desk, which is good. The SEC trying again to undermine the crypto industry. They're so desperate to undermine it, and Biden is working right along with that agenda. So, look, we don't want to get too political here, but just from a crypto perspective, if you are a single issue voter and crypto is one of the most important issues to you and you're in America and you can vote in America, I can't vote in America. I'm not in America. Don't really care at the end of the day. I know we talk a lot about U.S. politics and the U.S. dollar and all that kind of stuff, but man, it could not be more night and day for voters that Trump's going to be the crypto guy, surprisingly, and Biden's going to be the anti-crypto guy. Now, I know there's RFK as well. Okay, he's struggling to get on the ballot and stuff in all the states. He's got on some ballots in some states, and he's very, very pro-crypto, like way beyond what Trump is. Trump's going to be pro-crypto because I think he sees it as an issue where he can hop on board. Plus, Trump sold NFTs. He's made a bunch of Ethereum. Like, he's played the game, right? Or people on his team have played the game for him, but so he's not. He's used it, right? It's pretty interesting to see. Of the two candidates, Biden knows absolutely nothing about crypto, but Trump's actually been like selling NFTs for Ethereum and stuff like that. Pretty cool, right? I know it's a complicated issue. A lot of things that each candidate does, blah, 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 but just single issue stuff. One candidate very pro crypto, the other totally rabidly anti-crypto, working with the SEC to try as hard as they possibly can to shut down the crypto industry in America. So there you go. Okay. Let's keep moving on. Let's talk about some altcoins real quick, and then we'll hop into your questions, guys. Crypto Hoem, the pirate, says, can you smell what the Phantom's cooking? Phantom 7-day change up big time, immutable as well. That's interesting. But anyway, regardless, we're seeing a lot of TVL going into Phantom. A lot of people are starting to pay more attention to Phantom. Of course, Phantom's got a lot of protocols that you can ape into, right? So we have a huge upgrade coming now for Phantom with the Sonic upgrade. So it's going to be very robust blockchain moving forward. So it's going to be interesting to see how much that starts catching on. I feel like later this year, Phantom's going to be talked about a lot more than it's being talked about right now with this new upgrade, money coming on chain, lots of protocols. Andre's got lots of big announcements lined up, I'm sure. So could be a dark horse to keep an eye on. This is interesting. I want to share this information with you as well. This is the guys from the Kobizi letter shared this. Emerging markets have seen massive increases in Bitcoin ownership. Turkey has the largest global Bitcoin ownership share of 8.3%, followed by Vietnam, Nigeria, and Venezuela. Interestingly, the United States takes 7th place at 6.2%. Estimated global Bitcoin adoption shows just 3% of the population, or 269 million users, hold the currency. Crypto adoption is spreading. Now, what's fascinating, I was in Turkey last year, and I was blown away, absolutely blown away by the level of cryptocurrency adoption happening in Turkey. New Zealand is like, crypto what? You get to Turkey, you get off the plane at the airport in Istanbul, and what do you just Boom, immediately. Bitcoin signs, Bitcoin exchange signs, buy Bitcoin here, like blown away. Like, okay, crazy. Oh, okay, that's just in the airport, right? And then we're driving around in Antalya, and just everywhere, I just keep seeing these signs, more Bitcoin exchange signs, Bitcoin accepted here. We accept Bitcoin. All windows, and there's windows all over the place. Like, I'm blown away. This is like serious Bitcoin adoption in this country, blowing a lot of other countries away. It's fantastic to see. Okay. Fantastic to see. Let's share this next. This is interesting as well. Stigen. Not sure how to say your name, but anyway, this guy, he shared a great chart from CoinGecko, top categories. What has been some of the most popular categories of web traffic? This is actually, it's so popular, it's off the screen. It's under me here. You just see there 15.5% for artificial intelligence. It's actually interesting that in spite of all the buzz around meme coins, actually people have been looking up AI related coins more than meme coins. There's been more web traffic on CoinGecko, which is one of the big price aggregator websites, for artificial intelligence than for meme coins. Third place, real world assets. People are really excited about real world assets. I guess I'm not as excited, but I understand why people are. Solana ecosystem, great. Gaming, come on, my gaming bags, let's go. Number 5. It's interesting as you kind of go down BRC20s, for example. Pretty hyped within some circles, but only 2% of the total traffic on CoinGecko is for BRC20 stuff. Ethereum ecosystem, 1.5%. Base, 1.5%. You can see how early we are, man. People aren't even looking at base stuff that much yet, but they will when the smart wallet releases. Watch out. Anyway, that was pretty interesting stats. We'll see how that changes over time, but you can really see what people are looking for, and where attention goes, money goes. Watch out. And real quick note on Solana as well. This chart here shared by Solana Floor. Solana has reclaimed the top spot for daily transactions as Sway's blockchain transaction activity has declined post their big stress test. Cool. Solana's still the big daddy of daily transactions, but as soon as Sway starts getting some users, man, sweet, it's going to take off. It's got the capabilities. Now let's see if they can actually attract real users to start bringing that much actual volume. That's the tricky part, isn't it? Okay, now let's talk shop. What do you guys want to talk about today? Will, you're right. Can we start thinking about how to handle the top, please? Absolutely. I'm making videos on that all the time, trying to get people prepared, psychologically prepared. We did a top signals video, which is going to be applicable for 18 months from now, whenever that comes. So go watch that out. Absolutely. Be planning, be thinking, be ready for the day when you can release your stress, release your anxiety, and just sell your damn coins for huge amounts of money and walk away. Orange Blood 21. Lark, do you think the Solana ecosystem will blow up with Solana this cycle? There are utility coins building on Solana, not just memes like SolSex. Haven't heard of that one. But yeah, there's lots of stuff. Absolutely. It's actually been interesting to see how, aside from like Jupiter's done really well, but aside from Jupiter, how really it's just been meme coins on Solana. Not a lot of the other ecosystem stuff's really blown up, like Pith and Jaito and stuff. Have largely just kind of trending down and whatnot. But I think we'll see definitely a big pickup on the wider Solana ecosystem. It's still very, very hyped, and I think we'll continue to be pretty hyped as we go through the cycle. What do you think about the Berachain token airdrop? Well, I've been hopefully trying to get some. Have they announced the airdrop yet? I haven't seen that if they have. But I hope that'll get some coins from it. That would be great. Lucy says, do not trust Trump. He lies on the daily. Watches court cases. Da, 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 da. I would say not just Trump. Don't trust any politician. Don't trust any politician. Politicians are pretty good at lying. It's kind of like their primary job, which is I think a strong indictment on representative democracy. We elect these people to represent us, but they don't actually do anything for us when they get there. Is that a great system? I don't know. I don't know. What about SUI? As I've said before a few times, I think it's an ecosystem that's one to keep an eye on. I currently have no exposure. That could change. However, I see a lot of people talking about it. We see a lot more things starting to happen over there. Can that be catalyzed into something real? Remains to be seen. Huge competition between these layer one blockchains. You have to keep that in mind. Huge, fierce competition. So, who the winners are going to be? Who knows? Any take on the random meme coin of the day? No, I have no idea what that is. Sorry. Hmm. What's your opinion on Link being a top 5 coin eventually? It doesn't matter if Link's it doesn't need to be a top 5 coin. That's a silly idea, in my opinion. Um, all I need from Link is for it to go to 140 bucks. That's it. I don't need anything else from Link. That's fine. I don't care if when it hits 140 bucks, if it's the 50th or 100th coin on the coin market cap, it doesn't matter if it's the 5th. Who cares? As long as it hits 140 bucks and I can sell it for huge profits. Thank you very much, Chainlink, for the good times. That's it. That's it. You talked about Oasis a while back. We actually have an Oasis video coming up, I think next week after, pretty soon. Anyway, still holding my Oasis bags tight. Still think they have interesting potential for the cycle. I like that they're sort of rebranding towards a heavier AI focus. You got to remember the guys behind Oasis are like deep AI nerds. Like if you look at Open AI, they quoted Dawn Song, who's the lady behind Oasis, like 30, 40 times or something in their papers. So definitely an interesting one. I'm holding my bags and we'll see what happens. Still have faith that Oasis is going to pull something off. Lazarus says, getting airdrops like crazy on base. My man. Nice. Platypus with Perrier. Let's go. Let's go. What do you think about Arc Block? Don't have an opinion. I know we talked to the guys years ago at this point, but I don't have any updated opinion on what they're doing. I've not kept up to date with them. Sorry. I started a little bit late in this cycle, but I've been buying dips. However, I'm way down on most of my bags, ranging from 15 to 60%. My coins are all in top narratives. Will I recover? I don't know what coins you're holding, so I can't say, right? Will you definitely recover or not? There's never any certainties in markets. I would say if you've allocated yourself to some solid coins, quote unquote, then probably you're going to be just fine as the cycle progresses. Okay, so I guess you got a bit late in the cycle. You bought in when the hype was pretty high. And so usually what happens, we're probably going to have 4, 5, 6 moments like this throughout the cycle where we have a big run up, big correction, consolidation period, next leg up until we don't and the top hits. And you got to watch out for the top signals and all that stuff, kind of stuff, right? But yeah, so my guess, again, I don't know what you're holding, not financial advice. My guess is you're going to be just fine moving forward. But just keep that in mind for future reference. Try not to buy into FOMO. Try to buy into fear. You want to buy low, sell high, not buy high, and then have to worry about the anxiety of holding low or panic selling low. Opinions on Blast Layer 2 are now I'm not farming Blast. Maybe I should have farmed Blast. I have not really spent that much time thinking about Blast. There's just too much going on, man. Really, there is. There's too many damn layer 2s, too many things happening, too many projects. Oh my gosh, it's just nuts right now. I have not had time to do anything on Blast. Even this week, I was meaning to get around to doing farming the orderly airdrop and farming the LogX airdrop, spending some time with those, but I didn't even get around to doing that. So, yeah, only so much time in the world for farming airdrops when I try to have a life beyond, just sitting here clicking buttons all day, man. When Rune's video? Do we have one scheduled? Oh, you know what? Let me just make a little note. Make sure we do have one scheduled up. Runes. Okay, here we go. Made the note. We'll schedule it up. Maybe we'll do top runes or something like that video. That could be fun. Okay. Do you know about the new meme coin that you can? Yeah, I saw somebody talking about that. I haven't really looked into it, but novel idea. Why the heck not? Any thought on cake? Pancake swaps cake. I mean, BSC still popular. That's one thing you got to really just understand. I almost never use BSC these days. Once in a blue moon, maybe I'll have something to do over there, but I almost never use BSC. But a lot of people do. A lot of people like BSC, and they're doing stuff over there all the time. So as a premier DEX over there, maybe it's interesting to look at. And I know I'm not totally familiar with all the updates. We've covered all the stuff in the newsletter. They've had so many really big updates to their tokenomics and the way things work. So maybe there's something to look at there. Again, I don't have an in-depth opinion on it because I haven't followed as closely as maybe I should have. I know we've covered a few big updates. I remember saying like, okay, that's a big update. We got to cover that. And we covered it. And that's like in one ear out the other for me. But yeah, definitely Cake's an interesting one to watch out for if you're into the BSC ecosystem. Ah, yes, the dirty fiat. What are you going to do with all that dirty fiat once you sell? I'm going to get it all in ones and fill up my bathtub and just lay in it. It's going to be great. No, it's a great question. Obviously, you can't just sit on a giant pile of cash, like a giant melting ice cube. It's problematic. So I'm actually going to do a video on something related to this soon, what to do when I sell, what, my thoughts or what I'm planning on doing. And generally, the idea, I might buy a little more gold, not much, just like a little more, maybe like double my gold position or something like that, just because I kind of like it. I know it doesn't do that much, but I kind of like it. I don't know. We'll see. But I think the biggest thing that I'm going to do is buy a truckload of stocks, lots of stocks. Particularly dividend stocks. I'd like to be diversified internationally. So actually not really getting into U.S. stocks very much. I don't feel like there's a lot of great dividend options. There's a few decent ones. Not saying there isn't, but there's a few decent ones. But I quite like New Zealand, Australia stocks. I'll be probably getting into Singapore and Hong Kong stocks, trying to be a bit more geographically diversified, maybe a couple European markets as well. We shall see. But I think a lot of money is going to go into stocks, like boring stuff, utilities, stuff like that, stuff that's kind of safer. And of course, some of the money, let's say that's 50% of the money, probably some real estate investment trust. I really keep going back and forth on like, should I buy property? Should I not buy property? Should I not buy property? I mean, like, buying a second home or something like that. That's one thing. Buying, 10 rental properties, I just don't know. I keep running the numbers and it just keeps coming up like, why would I do this to myself? Why would I have the headache of, and I go, okay, I get a rental property manager and the numbers are even worse. Okay, fine. I don't know. So that is the thing. I keep going back and forth with real estate. Some days I'm like, this is a fantastic idea. We should totally get a bunch of real estate. Other days I'm like, I'm just going to buy a real estate investment trust and not worry about it, man. Because it's liquid. The dividends are good. Maybe that's all I need. So a lot of money will go into the stock market, but safe stuff, not like, crazy tech stocks with wild volatility and stuff like that. Boring stocks to preserve the wealth. Okay. And a lot of money will stay in cash. I'll keep some of the Bitcoin, of course. A lot of money will stay in cash. And I'll be re-entering the crypto markets again. Why the heck wouldn't I? During the bear market, of course. But you gotta let things unwind. You gotta let things crash. You gotta let it get real bad, real nasty, real dirty. And then you can bring some money back in the market. But you gotta be patient. Might take a year for that to happen, year and a half. But it will. It'll get nasty. It'll get dirty like it always does. It goes down real fast, man. These markets are wild. Absolutely wild. So yeah, that's the general thought right now anyway. But we'll see how it plays out. Space Vibes saying layer zeros going on a winch hunt, declaring everyone a Sybil. I'm done with airdrops after this one. Yeah, there's been some pretty disappointing airdrops recently. I can understand the vibe, man, for sure. Lark, near or render? Oh, I would say render. I don't know. I kind of like what render's been doing. I have neither. of the two, if I were to buy one personally, I'd probably choose render. Lark, are you still optimistic about Ethereum after the news recently? Yeah, still going to $10,000-$15,000. That's all I need. Don't need to do much more than that. You got to remember, even with the ETF delays, probably getting denied when it happens on May 23rd, I don't really care. It doesn't really matter because Ethereum was going to go to 10 to 15K without that happening. This is just a bonus when it does. Besides, the Chinese are coming for Ethereum now anyway. Remember the story we just covered a few minutes ago? Hong Kong Ethereum ETFs are going to be able to be bought by mainland China investors. That's really big. At what price have you put in a sell order for Arrow? I have not. I have not put in a sell price for Arrow. I'm currently just reinvesting into the liquidity pool, and I want to build that up a little bit more, the size of it, and then I'm just going to let it run for 6 or 12 months, pull in all those rewards, and then see where the market is. But I think this is something that could easily go $10 plus. That doesn't sound like a crazy number considering how low the market cap is still currently, and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, look, it got to $500 million market cap. I think it was $2. Is that correct? Let's have a quick look. Where's our old buddy Arrow at today? $500 million market cap. Currently, where do we get to in the last couple of months? We got up to almost 900 million. So if we 10x from here, not even crazy. That's $10. That's $10. That's not nuts, man. That's not nuts. Remember, Uniswap went to $25 billion last cycle with literally no use case at all. Absolutely zero reason to own Uniswap. Zero. And it went to 25 billion bucks. So to see Arrow get to $10, I would not be surprised. Cassian, I've never been an ICP advisor, and I have zero role there. People just ask me about it all the time, and I keep telling them I don't know anything about ICP, so stop asking me about it. Our kiwi pie is really that good. There's some pretty good pies in New Zealand. I think we definitely, punch above our weight there. Did you? The Argentina mining news. That was what is it? A subsidiary of a state-owned gas mining company is going to start mining Bitcoin. I think was the news. Great news. Cool. Awesome. Love it. Why not? Nick says, I don't understand why would Bitcoin crash with crash so hard is a relative topic. We're only down 23% at the max. We're currently down 20%. That's not really crashing so hard for Bitcoin. That's kind of a baby move for Bitcoin. It's a very, very volatile asset, up and down. The thing is that the markets got spooked. World War III was coming, all that kind of stuff. Markets got a bit freaked out. The initial wave of cash into the Bitcoin ETFs slowed down. Now we're moving into the next phase where we're going to see the big money players come in, the endowments, the pension funds, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. More retail will come in as hype picks up, all this kind of stuff. So markets move up and down, man. And I don't see any real worrying things happening. We took $13 billion of fresh cash inflows into the Bitcoin ETFs in just a few months' time. Hong Kong's here. South Korea is coming soon. Australia's coming soon. So there's lots of big things afoot. And you got to remember, people will sell. What happened with the ETFs is that we had a great move up, and then demand kind of flatlined for a little while as people started getting a little more cautious with the way the markets are working. So when people feel a little more optimistic, things will pick up again, just the way it works. Don't really have a strong opinion on Ondo Finance. Sorry, I know a lot of people talk about it. Maybe we'll do I'll put this down. Maybe we'll do a video on it one of these days. I don't know. It's tough. We've been doing all these great explainer videos, but unfortunately, they're not doing super well on the channel. So I don't know how much longer we can realistically keep doing those. I might change up the content a little bit. I like doing them. I think they're interesting videos, but I can't because we've got a whole team doing stuff, right? We've got researchers writing the scripts, and we've got editors editing the videos, and people creating thumbnails and posting them and stuff. And da 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 da. And so it's great for me to get the information out there if you guys are really like that. But if I just have to be realistic, if those altcoin review videos that we've been doing are not getting great views, and they're generally not, uh, monetarily, it doesn't make sense for me from the business perspective to keep making those kind of videos. So I don't know how many more of these explainer videos we're going to do. I think we got a few more we're going to do, at least that for some of the bigger coins. Yes, we'll get the ICD one of these days, guys. It's coming. Okay. The price of freedom is priceless. Say or Sui. That'd be my bet. Price target for ASI. What the heck is ASI? What is this? Arweave. I talked to Arweave guy ages ago. This must have been 2019 or something. Very interesting cat, by the way. I have no opinion on it currently. I know they're still here. They're still doing stuff. They're tapping into new narratives, and people are still excited about them. But man, I haven't really thought about it very much in a while. So, what do you think about Orca and Radium? I prefer Jupiter. I know Jupiter aggregates for them. It's an aggregator, but I like Jupiter. And I think the token model is quite strong. From what I remember, Orca and Radium token models were not super strong, if I remember correctly. So you can use them, you can trade there. But in terms of an investment, I went with Jupiter personally. Chris, it's an interesting one. He says, it sucks to think like this, but we're screwing our fellow investors by buying low and selling high. Someone else buys our bags. It's kind of like being a dick. Well, you never know. It's markets are player versus player. You have to understand this first. You can't think like this because somebody else obviously sees value in whatever they're buying, right? And sometimes people are going to buy what you sell and lose. Sometimes people are going to buy what you sell, and then it's going to go up, and they're going to make money too, and they're going to sell it to the next guy who loses. I remember this sort of Chinese proverb. It's kind of the way I think about these sort of things, because you just never really know how things play out and where people are and how it's going to affect people and all this sort of stuff. And again, markets are player versus player. Let me share it with you. So this is an approximate of the story, but it goes like this. There's this farmer, right? He's got a great harvest that year and gets a bunch of money, harvests a bunch of rice, sells it, boom, bunch of cash, goes out and buys a new horse. People in the village are like, wow, you're so lucky. This is fantastic. You had this great harvest. You bought this new horse. You're doing so well. He says, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. And then his son's out, plowing the fields of the horse, falls off the horse, breaks his leg. And then people come over, oh my gosh, it's so terrible. Everything's so bad. We're so sorry for you. And the guy says, I don't know. We'll see. And then a few months later, the army recruiters come through town and take all the young men away to war, except for this dude's son, because he's got a broken leg. And the people all come over and say, oh my gosh, oh wow, you're so lucky. They didn't take your son away. It's so great. He said, I don't know. We'll see. The point of the story is that fate is fickle, and you never know how things are going to turn out. You don't. So it's not worth thinking about. The only thing you think about is your portfolio, your bags, and your destiny, right? Other people that buy, that's between them and the market gods, man. May we wish them all the best. But it's a brutal game. And you got to remember, the vast majority of people will come in at the top of the market. They will buy the top. And there's no stopping that. It's just the way the markets work. And you will either benefit from that by being the smarter investor, or you will not benefit from that and round trip your bags because you didn't want to be a dick. Just the way it works, man. Just the way it works. Remember, markets are a mechanism for transferring money from the impatient to the patient. You're the patient. They'll be the impatient ones. I don't make the rules. It's just how it works. Okay, we'll do one or two more here, guys, and then Mark says, you really don't know anything, but you give advice like you're hurting people. Well, I don't have all the answers, Mark. I don't think anybody does have all the answers. I'm just sharing my opinions on stuff. And as I always say, people need to make their own decisions. right? I'm just sharing my opinions on stuff, sharing what I think's going on, and the only people who might hurt themselves are themselves because they rely on somebody on social media or something to make all their decisions for them. What's liberating about markets, and maybe you've got the idea that you need to blame other people for your decisions and stuff like that, which is not taking personal responsibility, which you should take personal responsibility. But here's the thing, you need to keep this in mind is that you are fully responsible for everything. And it's actually very liberating when you start thinking like that, that you are the one clicking the buy button and you are the one clicking the sell button. And if you're too lazy to do your own research, that's on you, man. If you're too lazy to take care of your security, that's on you, man. If you're too lazy to understand cycles and invest low and sell high and all that stuff, that's on you, man. Okay? It really is. Largely, we just talk about basic investing principles, basic ways the market works, share opinions on coins, stuff like that. I want the best for people. And, I will be the first one to tell you that I don't know everything. Nobody does. Nobody has a crystal ball what's going to happen in the markets. And I say that all the time. This is why everybody has to make their own decisions. And I hope that these chats are just get people thinking about stuff and get people thinking about new ideas and all these different things going on in the market. Right. I'm not trying to tell you guys what to do. And this is something that you always have to come back to because I know people get it's tricky working in the social media business because people will wildly take what you say out of context. Like, oh, you mentioned that thing for 30 seconds in your stream. Well, I'm going to go put my life savings into it. What? Didn't even have to say, this is one that we should totally all go buy because I don't talk like that. Okay. But people will just take things out of context. And it's tricky because people sometimes just hear what they want to hear. So, you know, y- be careful the way you think, man. Be careful the way you think because at the end of the day, you need to be making your own decision, my dude. And when you start getting that in that mindset, you're going to be a much better investor, would be my guess. Mm-hmm. When do you expect one or two more questions? We're getting pretty late here. When do you expect Jupe to have a rally? I don't know. Doesn't matter to me. I'm just staking, participating in governance, voting. I hope it gets up to $20. $10, I'd be pretty happy. But $20 by the end of the cycle doesn't even seem all that crazy, to be honest. So still very bullish on Jupiter. If even, I bought a bunch. I told myself, okay, I got to that big number of total amount of coins, just silly big round number stuff, right? And like, that's enough. I think crap, I should just buy some more. Why not? Haven't done that yet, but I still may. Mm-hmm. Okay, here we go. Last one. Cassie Gams as a beginner. Is it time to invest or buy crypto coins today? Well, first and foremost, what we have to say. If you're a complete new beginner, be patient. Please go and start learning about what you're going to buy. Don't just rush into things. The market's not going anywhere. Okay. And yeah, right now, Bitcoin's down 20%. A lot of altcoins are down sort of 30 to 50%, 60, 70% in some cases with some meme coins and stuff like that. So there's some interesting opportunities out there. But you need to understand what you're buying. You need to take a bit of time. Okay. You need to learn. You need to, as fast as possible, get on that learning curve and figure out what it is you're actually buying. Because if you're just running around and, okay, you're going to watch a few YouTube videos and say, hey, this guy talked about this coin, that guy talked about this coin, so I'm going around, buy those coins, you're going to get in trouble real fast. That's how you lose money. Okay. You got to figure out what are the narratives do you like? Do you like artificial intelligence? Are you more into real world assets? Are you really into Bitcoin? Maybe we're looking at Bitcoin runes. Are you really into the Solana ecosystem? Are you really into the base ecosystem? A lot of things to look into here, right? You need to find what narratives you understand, what narratives make sense to you. Start learning about those, start learning about the key players in those areas, understanding how to structure a portfolio according to your risk tolerance, understanding how much exposure you actually need to crypto overall. If you have a very, very low amount of time to invest, Cassie, then You probably don't want to go too deep into altcoins and stuff like that. Maybe you get a couple of them, but you don't want to go too deep because you're just not going to have the time to keep up with everything. If you have time to like be obsessed with crypto, well, then you can go a bit deeper, maybe take more risks, but you got to start learning. That's step one. Learn, 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 absorb as much knowledge as fast as you can on market cycles, market psychology, asset classes, narrative classes, top assets, upcoming assets, beta plays, all this kind of stuff. I know there's a lot of stuff there. Go replay that afterwards, take notes down, and go start studying because that's step one. Money, that's step two. Okay, guys, we're gonna finish up there for today. Thank you all for the great questions. It's been a good time, and I'll see you in the next stream. Peace.